be accountable for it.
Ó wá gbéra wá láti Èkó.
And he came from Lagos.
Ó ṣe ń yọjú sí church lọ́ọ̀kan báyìí.
As he was coming to the church and they saw him afar off.
Signboard wọn tó wà ń bẹ orúkọ mi ló wà ń bẹ.
Their signboards, they've changed the name there.
Kì í ṣe orúkọ church.
It's not the name of that same church.
Mo dẹ̀ ṣe wọlé sínú church.
And as he entered into the church,
Ó kí ọmọ ẹ̀yẹ, ó
he
kí ìyàwó.
greeted the wife and the husband.
Ó wá béèrè pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
And he asked, what happened?
Ó rí i pé òun pè ẹ̀ gbé.
I called you, didn't pick.
Àpèpàdé ẹ̀ wá.
I called for meeting, you were
Ó
not
ṣe ń
there.
wo orí pé wọ́n ti pààrọ̀.
And as I was coming, I saw that the signboard has been changed.
Pásítọ̀ yẹn ṣe fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀.
As the pastor wanted to start talking,
Ìyàwó ẹ̀gbẹ́nu ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀.
and the wife started talking,
Kò jẹ́ kí pásítọ̀ yẹn
he
sọ̀rọ̀.
didn't allow the husband.
Onírísìn bàbá ni pé
He said the reason is that
àwa la ń ṣe ìjọ yìí náà.
we are the one that are here doing
Àwa
this
la
job.
dẹ̀ ń kéèyàn jọ ń bẹ̀.
And we are the one that gather people here.
So ìjọ ò kàn yín mọ́.
So it doesn't concern you anymore.
Àyẹ̀wò àbọ̀ ẹ̀ pé Kristi ó ṣe pè é nìyẹn.
And he just called her Christy.
Èmi ló ń fún lésì báyìí.
You are just giving me an answer like that.
Bàbá.
And he was just responding
Ó tiẹ̀
anyhow.
jẹ́ kí ọkọ yẹn sọ̀rọ̀.
She didn't allow the husband to say
Èmi,
anything.
So wà ókè sá.
Are you okay?
Èmi ni òun bá sọ̀rọ̀
You are
báyìí.
talking to me like that.
Ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run bá sọ̀rọ̀ sí.
And the servant of God was just
Ó bá fún
scolding
ìránṣẹ́
her.
Ọlọ́run lésì.
And now responded.
Ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run wá sun lóhùn.
And the man of God now responded
Ó
again.
dá padà fún pásítọ̀ yẹn.
And he just take it. He responded back.
Ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run wá tún fún lóhùn.
And the man pronounced another thing again.
Ó wá fi ọwọ́ gba ojú ara ẹ̀.
And now the woman now tapped a private part and told the
Ó
pastor.
ní àdàbí tí ò bá ti jẹ́ ara obìnrin.
He said, except and if you are not, you didn't come out of a woman's womb.
Pásítọ̀ wá ní èmi.
And the pastor now said,
Ó
I,
fọwọ́ gba ojú ara fún.
that you tap your private part for.
Olóore rẹ̀ ò ní ta bẹ́ẹ̀
He
yẹn
said, nothing good shall come out of that your private part.
Àdáta ó má rí ni kò tí ì bímọ.
And that time she just got married, no child.
Oyún àkọ́kọ́ tó ọkọ mọ ní.
The first pregnancy
Ó wálẹ̀.
was flushed out.
Ìkejì tó ní.
The second one
Ó wálẹ̀.
was flushed out.
Ìkẹta
The third one,
ó fi bímọ.
and she gave back to that.
Bóyá after àkókò kan ṣe marriage.
Maybe-
Kan ṣe némì.
Maybe some days to name it,
Ọmọ yẹn kú.
the child died.
Toró sọ pé oríire ò ní ta
Because she
bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
said nothing good will come out of her.
Ní ìgbẹ̀yìngbẹ̀yìn.
At the end of the day,
Ará ilé ọkọ
the relatives of your husband
ló wá lé obìnrin yẹn jáde.
that chased her out of that house
Tí wọ́n fẹ́ lòmíì fọmọ.
and marry another wife for the man.
Mo bẹ̀ ọ́ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run.
I beg you in the name of
Tó
God,
bá jẹ́lé ní wàásù mi.
if this is the only preaching for today,
Tó bá jẹ́lé.
if this
Tó
is the
bá
only
ní
preaching,
pásítọ̀ tó ti kọsẹ̀
if there's
lára.
any pastor that made mistake in them,
Tó bá ti kú òmí lé.
as you are leaving this place,
Kó lọ túbá.
please go and rectify it.
Ò lọ́jọ́ iwájú.
Or else you don't have a future.
Kò sí pásítọ̀ láyé.
There's no pastor in life
Tá gbàdúrà fún ọ.
that will pray for you.
Tí pásítọ̀ yẹn ò bá
If
gbàdúrà.
that pastor will not pray for you,
Kò sí pásítọ̀ tá gbàdúrà.
no pastor will pray for
Kò
you.
ní work.
And it will not work.
Tóró ti kọjá yẹn sí ìpè.
Because you have passed your boundary to the commission.
Ẹ bá dẹ̀ ti kọjá yẹn sí ìpè.
And we pass your boundary in commission,
Èpè ló máa ń tẹ̀lé.
and a curse will follow.
Ṣé ẹ rí pé mi kọ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ?
You know that it's not a pastor that is saying it,
Akọrin ló sọ̀rọ̀.
it's the choristers.
Tí o bá lọ chọ́ọ̀chì kan,
If you are going to a church
tí ìṣe àti ìwà wọn ò bá tẹ́ ẹ lọ́rùn.
and their character you are not, you can't abide with it,
Kò sí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọn kàn díẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀.
it's not a sin for you to leave the
Tí
place.
ìwà pásítọ̀ yẹn ò bá tẹ́ ẹ lọ́rùn.
Even if the character of the pastor you
Wọn kàn
cannot,
díẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ síbẹ̀.
please, you can
Tí
leave.
pásítọ̀ yẹn bá ṣe nǹkan tí ò bá Bíbélì mu.
If the pastor is doing something that's
Wọn
not
sún ẹ
biblical,
mọ́lẹ̀ síbẹ̀.
you are not tied there.
Ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì pọ̀ láìpẹ́
We
rẹ̀.
have a lot of churches in
Church pọ̀ ní
Akure.
Nàìjíríà.
We have a lot of churches in
Gbàgbọ́ mi
Nigeria.
lọ.
Go to another
Kò
place
forí gbèpè.
for you to receive a curse.
Àwọn èèyàn kan wà.
There's a lot of people.
Kò sí àdúrà tí wọ́n lè gbà fún.
There's no prayer they can pray for them
Tí àdúrà gbà.
that the prayer will be answered.
Nítorí pé ẹnu ìfàmìróyàn
Because the mouth of the anointed mouth
ó ti ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ sọ sí wọn.
has said something bad concerning them.
Mo bẹ̀ yín.
I beg you,
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo bẹ̀ wá.
please, I beg you,
Mo bẹ̀ wá ẹ jọ̀ọ́.
I beseech all of you,
Àwa ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run mo
even
bẹ̀
the
wá.
ministers of God,
Ìwọ̀n àwa tá a jáde láti inú ìpè kan.
even with that come from one ministry
Àwa tá a jáde.
that will come out,
Gbogbo àwọn tí ó ń lórí ọ̀fẹ́ àti láti súnmọ́ wa.
everyone that has had the grace to move closer to our Father,
Tí wọ́n ní iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́.
and they have their home ministry,
La máa ń jẹ́ kí wọ́n ká trace ibi tí wọ́n ti jáde wá.
that we do trace where they came from.
Ní ọdún tó kọjá,
Last year,
wọ́n sì rí ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tó fẹ́ bá wa rìn.
we saw a man of God that want to move close with our Father,
Tí a discover àwọn kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ kan.
and we discover little
Àkọ́kọ́ béèrè ibi tó ti
atrocities,
jáde.
and we asked where he came
Àwa
from,
discover pé ó ti ta sẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ẹni tó jáde lábẹ́.
and we realized that he had done something bad to the person in charge.
O ò níṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ o.
I said, you don't have a ministry,
O ò níṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́.
you don't have it.
Padà lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹni tó
Go
jáde.
back to that person that is
Kì
your
í ṣọdún
leader.
mẹ́wàá, kì í ṣọdún
It's not
mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún.
10 years, it's not 15
Mo dẹ̀
years.
láìkì ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run
And
yìí.
our Father so much like
Mo
me,
sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí.
and he said today,
Ọjọ́ kejì ló gba ìlú
the
ibẹ̀
next
yẹn.
day he went down to the
Ó
town
dọ̀bálẹ̀ gbalaja.
and prostrated
Níwájú ẹni
flat
tó jáde
in the
lábẹ́.
presence of that leader.
Bàbá mo dé.
That daddy have come,
Bàbá yẹn sọ pé
and the man said,
pé tí mo ti ń retí.
I'll be expecting you for a long time.
ìgbà yẹn dẹ̀ ní òun àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ nìkan ló wà ní church.
And then it was only her and the wife that was
bọ́mọ
only the
ìjọba
church.
wálé ni wọ́n á jáde.
Even if they have member today, they will still go
bọ́mọ
back.
ìjọba wálé ni wọ́n á
When they
jáde.
come today, they will go back.
bàbá yẹn súre fún.
And the man
Ó wá
blessed
gbéra wá
him.
látọ̀hún.
And he came from that place.
èmi náà wá gbàdúrà
And our
pẹ̀lú.
father prayed with him.
ẹ lọ wo ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ẹ̀
Go
báyìí.
and look at his church today.
gbogbo ohun tó bá máa ná ẹ.
Everything that will cost you.
ọdún mẹ́wàá àkọ́kọ́
The first 10 years,
ṣé ń gbọ́rọ̀ mi
hope you are hearing us.
àbí mo ti kọjá yìí mi.
No, sir.
ọdún mẹ́wàá àkọ́kọ́ tí iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ mi iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ mi bẹ̀rẹ̀.
The first 10 years of our father ministry,
a ò kọjá 20 sí 25.
there are more than 20 to 25 people.
20 sí 25.
20 to 25.
20 sí 25.
20 to
tó
25
bá ṣe
people.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó fẹ́ lọ òkè
When it feels as if it's going up,
tó lọ 30
maybe like 30,
tó lọ 40
like 40,
á já wálẹ̀ sí
it will
20.
still come back to 20
Ìgbà míì á lọ
people.
15.
Sometimes it will be like 15.
gbogbo nǹkan ni mo ṣe
Our father did everything,
ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn ò improve.
and the church did improve
lọ́sìnlẹ̀ kan náà ni
in this Oshile.
ṣe wà ń bí.
Are you here?
mo á lọ sínú àwẹ̀ àti àdúrà.
Our father went into fasting and prayer.
nínú àwẹ̀ àti àdúrà
And
yẹn
in that fasting and prayer,
kí àdúrà yẹn tó parí
before it ended prayers,
mo wá rí ara mi
and he saw himself
nínú igbó aginjù.
in a wilderness.
bí mo ṣe rí ara mi yẹn
As he saw himself,
ó dàbí ẹni tó ti ń rìn tó sọnù sínú aginjù bíi 50 years.
it seems that the person that has been there for like 50
bàtà
years,
ẹsẹ̀ mi ti jẹ́
even the slipper, the thing that tear up,
aṣọ ọrùn mi ti ya
even the garment,
mo
everything
ti rí bí arúgbó mo ti rí
tattered.
ṣíọ̀ṣíọ̀
It looked tattered and shattered.
síbẹ̀
Yes,
mo sì wà nínú aginjù yẹn.
he was still in that
wọ́n dàbí
wilderness.
pé bí mo ṣe ń rìn mo ń
It's
bọ́
as if as
ságinjù
he
mi ò
was
rí
going,
ká
he was just going deeper and deeper into
Ó wà nínú
it.
aginjù
He
yẹn
was still there.
ṣùgbọ́n lójijì
But suddenly,
mo kàn gbójú sókè báyìí
he just looked up
mo wá ń wo títì tí mọ́tò ti ń kọjá fìrì
and was looking at a road
Mo wá
that
ń
is in
gbọ́
a car
ọ̀nà
moving.
mọ́tò.
And
Mo
he
ń
see
gbọ́
the
àwọn
hooting
èèyàn
of a
rojọ́
car
kọjá.
that people are
Inú
just
mi wá
discussing.
dùn.
He was so happy
pé mo ti fẹ́ já gbangba
that I want to go
mo wá
out.
sáré
I was running.
mo sáré
He was running.
mo ṣe dé tàbá
As he got
mo
out,
gbójú sókè
I just
Olúwa,
looked
ṣé
at the
o.
Lord, thank you.
ojú tí mo máa gbé sílẹ̀
As he was looking
mo
down,
rí ọkùnrin kan tó dó
he
níwájú
saw a man stood in front of him.
ó ga
He was so
èmi lọ.
giant,
Ó
more
ga
than
díẹ̀
him.
báyìí
He was a giant.
mo wá wò ó láti ilẹ̀
And just look from
Mo
his
wá wò lọ
foot
òkè.
and look up.
nígbà tí mo máa wò lókè
When looking to the
ó wá
top,
jẹ́ ẹni tí mo mọ̀
it was the person I knew.
ẹ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé kí ló sọ
Look at what he said.
ó ní ta ló sọ fún mi pé mo ti já gbangba
He said, who told you that you have come out of that wilderness?
ó ní kí n padà
He
sínú
said,
àgbẹ̀
go back to that wilderness.
mo wá lajú
And our father opened his eyes.
mo mọ ẹni yẹn
He recognized that person.
pásítọ̀ church tí mo lọ nílùú èkó ni
The pastor of his church where he left in Lagos.
nígbà tí mo dé ìlú èkó
When he got to Lagos,
wọ́n sẹ́ndì mi àwa méjì kan pẹ̀lú ìránṣẹ́ ọlọ́run kan láti lọ dá redeem sí branch
they
sílẹ̀
said some of them to go and have a branch
ní
somewhere
Kétu Alápèrè lẹ́kọ̀ọ́
at Ketu Alapere, Lagos.
church yẹn develop
And that church
ó
developed
ṣe dáadáa
and was growing.
ó ṣe dáadáa
It was growing up.
ṣùgbọ́n nítorí ìpè tó wà lórí mi
But because of his own calling,
tí mi ò rí èèyàn bá mi túmọ̀ ẹ̀
that
pé
he
ìpè dà mí
that
láàmú
doesn't have anyone to
problem
just
tí mo ní
interpret it
pé
for him.
tètè rí èèyàn
He doesn't see anyone to
tó tètè jẹ́
interpret
kí n mọ̀ pé ìpè ń dà mí
his
láàmú
own ministry that have his
ó
own
wá ń ba
calling.
iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ mi jẹ́
And he just destroys his end.
mo wá gbogbo ọ̀nà ni mò ń sà láti pé kí n ṣàjá gbangba
Everything was just doing to just grow
wọ́n á
up.
lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti kí ẹnìkan fi mí ṣe supervisor cold room kan ní ìlú èkó
And he has an opportunity to work
Síbẹ̀.
with someone in one courtroom.
kò work
Yet it doesn't work.
then wọ́n á lọ wá supply
And he started
láti
supplying
mọ supply ẹja àti turkey ni mò ń tà
to supply turkey and fish,
láti
all these frozen foods,
ìlú èkó sí ìlú àbújá
from Lagos to Abuja.
then kí n tẹ̀ tó ṣe yẹ
Before he did that,
mo nílò owó
he needs money
láti ṣe yẹ
to do that.
ṣé wàá rí pastor church mi yẹ
And the pastor of his church,
lórí ọ̀fẹ́ ọlọ́run mo wà dáadáa
by the grace of God, our father has good character.
gba àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ ló fẹ́ràn
Every one of them loved him.
pastor yẹn wá gbọ́rọ̀ yìí
And the pastor heard about
ó wá
it.
pè mí
And he called him.
ṣé ẹ sì ń gbọ́rọ̀ mi sá
Hope you are here, ma or sir.
ó lè jẹ́ torí tó ṣe wábílẹ̀ nínú
It might be this the reason why you are here today.
ó wá pè mí
And he called him.
ó wá lóun gbọ́ pé
He said, I heard
mo nílò owó
I need money
ó ní torí pé òun láìkì mi
because I like,
mo
he
dẹ̀
like
níwà
him.
tó dáa
And he has
mo
good
dẹ̀ jẹ́ tó
character.
tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́
And he's one that's
ó lóun
hardworking.
lówó kan lọ́wọ́
And he has money.
ó lówó yẹ
And that money,
òun kíìpù ẹ̀ ní
he kept it
òun fẹ́ lò fún purpose
to use it for a purpose.
nígbà tó ó sì níyì
When he do have a value for money,
40,000
it's just 40,000
Ó wá fún mi lówó
naira.
yìí.
He gave it to our
ó
father.
ní ká fi ṣe business
He said just to
ó
have
ní kí n
business.
dápọ̀ mọ́ owó ọjà mi
That should mix it with his own.
ó ní kí n máa fún un ní commission tòun every
That
month
should give him his own commission every month.
kí n máa fi owó yẹ as capital run ọjà
To use it as capital
Mo
to
dúpẹ́
run his
lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀.
business. And he thanked
ṣe
you.
rántí pọ́wọ́ ọlọ́run wà lára mi
You think the hand of God is
Láàrin
upon
oṣù kan
him.
péré.
Within 1
mo
month,
ṣe kó yẹ sí ọjà
as he just put that money
Ọjà
on
tí mo kó
business,
lé.
at that business,
ó gbé mi
He just swallowed it up.
àtowó tí mo yá ní báńkì
The money he borrowed from the bank,
àtowó ọjà táwọn kan supply
and
mi
the one that they supplied
àtowó
him,
pásítọ̀ yẹn
and the money of
àtowó
that pastor,
tèmi
and the ozone
supply
capital.
ọjọ́ kan péré
Just one supply.
ló gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ.
Swallowed up everything.
mo wá ó wá ń tì mí lójú àti lọ bá pásítọ̀ mi
And it was a shameful thing to go and
pásítọ̀
meet
mi
that pastor.
fi owó ràn mí lọ́wọ́
That my pastor helped me with
wọ́n á
this
sa
capital.
gbogbo ipá
And I just,
wọ́n á sa
just
gbogbo ipá
trying, laboring.
gbogbo ipá tí mò ń sà
Everything was doing.
ó kàn rán mi inú gbèsè
It was just putting him in debt more.
ìyẹn ni mo bá kúrò nílùú Èkó
And he left
tí mo
Lagos
fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ supply l'Abuja
and started the supply in Abuja.
Abuja lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ti tẹ̀ mí
It's the hand of God that rests upon him in
tí mo gba
Abuja.
Abuja wá s'Àkúrẹ́
From Abuja to
mo wá ní
Akure.
lọ́kàn
And he has it in
pé
mind
gbogbo àwọn tí mo jẹ
that
lówó
everything that he was owing
ni
them,
màá san owó
I
ẹ̀.
will pay their debt.
ó lè di ọdún mẹ́wàá tí iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀
For like 10 years, he was in
mi ò tí ì
ministry.
lè san owó
He
ìwọ̀nyẹn tán
couldn't pay
toró pọ̀ díẹ̀
because he was
mi ò
much.
dẹ̀ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ àti rí
And
pásítọ̀
doesn't have the grace to
Ṣùgbọ́n
see
mo
that
rán
man.
èèyàn sí.
But he was sending
Gbogbo
people
àwọn tí
to
mo jẹ lówó,
him. Everything was
pé màá san
owing
owó yẹn.
that they will pay
ẹ wá
back.
gbọ́ eléyìí
And hear this.
ṣe é rántí ìrántí mo rí
He remembered his own vision.
ṣe é rí ìgbà tí mo wá tají
So when he woke up
tí mo wá rí ojú ẹni yẹn
and saw the
pé
eyes of that
pásítọ̀ mi yẹn
person,
ni
that was his
mo ti mọ
pastor,
ibi tó túmọ̀ sí
he know the interpretation.
mo wá pe ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan
And he called his
mo
friend
ní pásítọ̀ mi ìgbà
and
yẹn
said that my
ó
pastor
dàbí
there,
ẹni wípé
it seems
kò dárí owó yẹn jì mí
that he did forgive me of that
Ó dẹ̀
money.
dàbí ẹ wípé
And it seems that,
ó ti fi ohùn tì mí lẹ́yìn
and he just pronounced
Ó ti
something into his
sọ̀rọ̀
life.
sí mi.
He said something concerning
wá pe
him.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi yẹn
And he called his
mo ní
friend
kó já wa lọ
and said, let's find him.
àwa gbéra ó dè kó
And they start for him
a bẹ̀
Lagos.
sí lọ káàkiri ìlú
They
Èkó
started searching from one place to another.
kájọ pín ọlá
Pastor
ẹjọ́ ta ló
Kajokinola,
máa pa sọ pé
please,
kájọ
you
pín ọlá
need this
ta ló
man.
máa pa arìn lórí omi dánwò
They walk even on the
nígbà kan wa
sea.
àgbóyé odò náà lọ́gbé lọ
Because sometimes they say
Lórí
they came
omi.
to Riverend
a fi odidi
area
ọjọ́ kan wá
for a whole day. They were
and
searching for
eventually
him.
a rí pásítọ̀
And eventually they saw
gẹ́gẹ́
him
bí ìṣe mi
as his own
gbogbo
character.
àwọn tó bá ṣáájú mi
Everything that go before
ẹni
him.
tó bá rí mi tí mo bá ń kíyàn
Anyone that
ẹ
say
bá
our
ti
father
ṣáájú
greets
mi.
him, anyone that
bóyá
disappoint
ẹni
him,
tó ní ìpè ṣáájú mi
maybe that has equality
àwọn
before
bíi
him,
bàbá sí mi
or the
ìyá tó
people
bí
like
mi
father or his
ẹni
mother,
tó ti pásítọ̀ mi
or anyone that
mo máa ń lẹ̀
pastor
fẹ́lẹ́fẹ́lẹ́ ni
him, our father
kì í
will
ṣe eléyìí
prostrate
táwọn ọmọ
for
ẹ̀sìn àwọn
them.
kíyàn
It's not the one that they just as if they are planting corn.
tí bàbá mi inú Olúwa bá wọ bí báyìí
If my father in the
àyà mi
Lord
á
come
kanlẹ̀
there,
ni
our father will
nígbà
prostrate
tí
for
ìyá mi
him.
wà láyé
Even when he
àyà
was
mi á
father,
kanlẹ̀
he
ni
will prostrate
àwọn
for
tó bá
her.
ti ṣáájú mi tó pásítọ̀
Everyone
mi
that
rí
go
àyà
before
mi á
him or the
kanlẹ̀
pastor will
mo nà
prostrate for them.
fẹ́lẹ́fẹ́lẹ́
And our
níwájú
father
ẹ̀
prostrated
mo wá kí
and he
kí n
greeted
tó
him.
kúrò l'Ákúrẹ́
Before he left Abuja,
fọ́tò bí iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀
the
bọ́lá
picture
mo ṣe pè mí
of how God
mo
called
ṣe
him.
lọ Àbújá
Every time he
àwọn
went to
program tá a
Abuja,
ti
and all the
ṣe mo ti
programs,
kó sínú báàgì
our
kan
father put it
mo
in
ti
his
gbó
bag
séjìká
and just put it
Mo
on
wá
his
kí
shoulder.
òun àti
And he
ìyàwó ẹ̀ ló wà
greeted
lórí
with his
ìjókòó.
wife on the seat.
mo wá ní dádì ẹ̀yin ni mo
I
wá
said
rí
that they have come to see
Ó ní mo
you.
káàbọ̀.
He said, welcome.
mo wá jókòó
And our father sat
nígbà tí iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀
when the
Nígbà tí mo
ministry
kúrò
started. When he left
l'Ékòó,
Lagos,
mo lọ
he
Àbújá.
went to Abuja.
Ọlọ́run pè mí l'Àbújá
God called him from